Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to look at linear equations. We're going to do addition and subtraction. So today's goal is to solve an equation for an unknown value. So here we have an equation like this, x plus 3 equals 7. And we want to solve the equation. The unknown value here is x. So in other words, we want to find the solution of the equation. So we have an equation here. What is the solution? What does that mean? That means what number can we plug in to make the equation true? And when you look at that, x plus 3 equals 7, you could probably answer that in your mind right away. Say, oh yeah, I know the answer is 4. But what we're going to do today is develop our algebra skills, because later we're going to use algebra to solve more complex equations that isn't so easy. So we're going to practice our algebra skills today. And if you happen to see the grade 8 fractions videos that I've uploaded, if you've completed these, this lesson will be a lot easier for you. So if you get stuck on the area of fractions, I recommend that you go back and watch and do those videos. Okay, so example 1, solve using algebra to isolate x. So our goal is to isolate x. We want to have x equals our answer. That's what we want to do when we're using algebra. So let's see what we have. X plus 3 equals 7. So I want to isolate x on its own. So the only thing that's in the way of that is this plus 3 here. So what we're going to do is go negative 3 to both sides like that. We're going to say this side minus 3 and this side minus 3. So it's like a balance. And if you go negative 3 this side, you got to go negative 3 the other side as well. So that's what we did here. And the reason why we did that is because now we have x plus 0. Or just x. So in other words, the solution to this equation is 4. So if we plug in 4 into here, we get 7. And so this is checking our answer here. We plug in 4, 4 plus 3, 7, good to go. And when you're doing a test, I recommend that you check every single equation that you solve. You always want to check it so that you know, did you do it properly? Because if there is a mistake, it'll show up here saying, oh, 5 plus 3 doesn't give 7. I did something wrong here somewhere. So that's a good way to know, did you solve it correctly? Okay, B. U minus 1.2 equals 3.1. So we want U on its own. So here it's minus 1.2, and so the opposite is plus 1.2 to cancel it. So we're going to go plus 1.2 to both sides of the equation. The 1.2 is canceled out, and so U equals 4.3, like that. And we're going to check it. Plug in 4.3 into our U. Minus 1.2 gives 3.1. Very good. So U equals 4.3 is correct. C. 10 equals y minus 5. So we want y on its own. It could be on its own on the left or the right. Doesn't matter. So the easiest thing to do now is to get rid of this minus 5. So the opposite of minus 5 is plus 5. So we're going to go plus 5 to both sides of the equation. And these cancel out, and leaving us y equals 15 as such. And so a quick check in our answer. If we plug in y equals 15, 15 minus 5 gives 10. It's supposed to give 10. Excellent. Very good. Okay, D. Let's look at it a little more complicated. X plus 1/4 equals 2/3. So we want to get rid of this 1/4. So we go minus 1/4 on both sides. So 1/4 minus 1/4 is 0. So we're left with just x like that. And now we want to perform this subtraction of fractions. So if you've practiced your fractions, this is easy for you. We're going to go common denominator of 12. So times 4 for here, times 3 for here. 8 over 12 minus 3 over 12 gives 5 over 12, like that. So x equals 5 over 12. And since there was no change here, you notice how it's x space and then x? You're allowed to do that if there's no changes as you went into different levels, like that, in different steps. So that's why here you have x, you have to write that. You don't have to write the x because there's no change. And then the x is here at the end. So it has to be at the beginning and the end, but in the middle, if there's no change, that's okay. And I'll leave to you guys as homework to check this solution to ensure that this is correct. I'll leave that for you guys as an exercise. Okay, E. W plus 3 1/3 equals 2 2/5. So we're going to change that into improper fractions. So we got 10/3 equals 12/5. So W is almost on its own. We just got to get rid of this. So we're going to go minus 10/3 to both sides. So this cancels out and we're left with just W, right? W plus 0 is W. And now we have this subtraction of fractions. So our common denominator here is 15. So we can go times 3 here, times 5 there. So we get 36/15 minus 50/15, which gives negative 14/15. And so that is the solution to our equation, like that. Okay, time for some practice. Here you go. So here from A to G, go ahead and pause the video and solve these equations. Okay, we're back. So we got our first one here, x minus 6 equals 13. This minus 6 is in the way, so we're going to do the opposite, plus 6 to both sides. So x equals 19 is our answer. B. 5 plus y equals 7. So here the 5 is in the way, so we go minus 5 to both sides. 7 minus 5 is 2. Y is on its own, so y equals 2 is our final answer. C. 32 equals u plus 4. We want u on its own, so we're going to go minus 4 to both sides like that. So u is on its own. 32 minus 4, 28. U equals 28 is our final answer. D. U plus 1/5 equals 5/7. So we want to get rid of this 1/5. So we go minus 1/5 to both sides. What's left is u. And so we have 5/7 minus 1/5. Our common denominator here is 35. So times 5's here, times 7's here. So 25/35 minus 7/35 gives 18/35. And that is our final answer. E. 5.3 equals W plus 4.8. We want to get rid of this 4.8, so we go minus 4.8 to both sides. This cancels out to 0, so we're left with W. 5.3 minus 4.8 is 0.5, so 0.5 is our final answer. Okay, F. X minus 4.5 equals 7 2/3. So we're going to convert that into improper fractions. So we got minus 9/2 equals 23/3. The minus 9/2 is in the way, so we go plus 9/2 to both sides, so that cancels out. What's left is this addition of fractions. Common denominator is 6, so here we're going times 2, here we're going times 3 like that. So we have 46/6 plus 27/6 gives 73/6. Now we're going to do division to find out that it's 12 1/6 as our final answer. G. X minus 8 equals 15. We want x on its own, so plus 8 to both sides. 8 minus 8 is 0, so we're left with x. 15 plus 8, 23, so 23 is our final answer. And that's it. It's that simple. I'll see you guys in the next video.